John is the moderator.
Mesh twende kazi.
Mimi ni moderator leo.
Wewe.
Leo amenipe kizungu.
Okay.
Hello guys, welcome back to 8K TV, the Smiles podcast. We are welcoming you back. Leo tunafanya mambo zingine hapa kule. But before we go to much further ado. Hiyo ndio kizungu yenyewe, ndio? Much further ado. Usishangae, ni much further ado. Without? Mwalimu English narudia school fees yangu. We start with the introduction from my immediate left. Yeah, immediate left.
Yeah, I'm Briviah a student, and at KU University I do music and history. I'm also an activist and a worker at Angaza Mission Center.
Wow. Activists. Thank you. And my far left, because I've told this is my immediate, that is far.
Hey everyone, I'm John Oko, teacher. I'm a counseling psychologist. I'm also an EMDR therapist and co-founder of Revive Counseling Center. Welcome.
Mushkila. To my far right.
Hello, my name is Christine Amundi. I'm a counseling psychologist, director at Kings and Queens of Kibera, and I do support in counseling services through other organizations. Yes.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Jane Gishuki, a counseling psychologist and an EMDR therapist, and director at Revive Counseling and Training Center.
Guys, mimi naitwa Mesh, kijana wa mtaa. As they call me, I am a dancer, I'm dance, an artist, very many things, but kwa leo mimi ni host wenyu hapa. Kwa leo tu.
Sasa hivi.
Sindio, kwa sasa hivi. Yeah. So last time when we were away, we don't want to talk when we were away, sindio? Kulikuwa na watu walikuwa na discussion that was it was mambo ni shega and they were talking about the things that are happening in the society. Literally what makes a society is the family basis and how relationships work. So I will love to ask John at least to ambie recap kidogo alafu ndio tuendelee from there. Yeah.
Thanks, Mesh. In our previous sitting, we laid a brief background of where all of us are coming from as a generation, as a society, and we all have a root, so to speak, and relationships are the basics to that root. So we delved into the foundations of a relationship and what are some of the major components to founding a strong and stable relationship. And we discussed what we termed our footprint, which essentially means where we all are coming from, how we are nurtured. Because as we start relationships, it's not a society, it's an individual. So who are you bringing into the relationship? Pardon me, I know we are used to what are you bringing, but we discussed who are you bringing into that relationship. And we are defined by how we are brought up, you know, the family of origin. And so we looked at what have you learned, what lessons or what blueprint are you actually picking from in terms of your significant parents and the role they played in you to stabilize your relationships with other people along your journey. So basically that is what we discussed.
So tumesikia, you delve in a very, should we say a very serious issue about relationship and who are you bringing to the relationship. It also makes about what the values you want, the values, the communication, whatever you want in that relationship. Because relationship is a journey. It's not something that you wake up early in the morning and you start having it. Even when you are born, you had to have a relationship with God. That is why our parents took us to the church, baptized us, those who are baptized, those who are told to shika pesa sadaka enda kanisa. That was a relationship that a parent was trying to create between you and God. So it was a very interesting topic. Na tunataka kuanzia hapo. Kwa who, whatever you want to bring in the relationship. So tutaanza hapa na Briviah. Ni Briviah?
Yeah.
Jina yako hii. Ni smart. Ni smart by the way. You have a very beautiful name.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Briviah, wewe kwa hii story wewe tunakupata wapi? Which angle do you want to attack? From who are we bringing in that relationship?
Okay, basically, from what I've understood, what you heard previously is about who, not what, which is somehow good and unique. To me, I will interpret it this way. Ukikuja hapa, when you come here, what characters are you bringing? Are you bringing yourself? Are you bringing a whole community? Are you bringing beliefs from other people? Ama umekuja peke yako? Yeah. Mimi, if I was to be, God willing, if I am in a relationship.
Hey, rewind. If you are to be, so you are not in a relationship right now.
Majaliwa.
Oh,
I love that because at least
yeah.
it will give us perspective from expectations.
True.
I am not expecting to like deal with a whole community. Yeah, even though where you were raised and where you grew up, you pick like things and lessons about the relationship. But when you come here, the who, I want you yourself with your morals. I don't want to deal with people like I don't want to deal with people's opinion. I want to deal with you. Wewe, are you obedient? Are you listening? Are you patient enough? Yeah, that's all I can say. The who, it's you. It's not who raised you. What are you doing? It is you on a personal level because I am dealing with you. Yeah.
Jane, do you want to concur or to agree?
Well, neither. And the reason why I say that is because that is an expectation that she has, number one. That when she's coming into the relationship, she does not want to deal with the village. But isn't that what we get into when you're getting into a relationship? Looking back at the previous discussion on attachment styles, we are products of nature and nurture. So you as a woman, there are chances that I will behave like my mother because that is what I interacted with, that is what I saw. If my mother was a businesswoman, for example, you will realize that I will be more into business. Mimi nule demwa natafuta pesa, hustler. But if my mother was a stay-at-home mom, and I obviously saw my father be the breadwinner, and here you are expecting me to come and do 50-50 with you, then that might be very hard. So the reality of the matter is that when you're getting into a relationship, there are so many things that this person is coming with. It's really hard unless you get someone who's very, very aware, someone who has worked on themselves. They've gone through that journey of separating themselves and who they are at birth and how they were brought up. So that is something that I feel like before you get into a relationship, you need to be able to have a discussion with your spouse. Hence why people date. Ukipatana na mtu 2 days and then day 3 you're getting into marriage, hizo ndio drama zenye unaenda kupatana nazo pale kwa ndoa, si ndio? But when you give yourself time to get to understand who is this person, who is your family, who is your father, who is your mother, then you get to see the real person and also tell yourself, is this what I want to sign up for or not?
Christine, we'll want to ask you a question. There's this question that always comes about, they've talked about expectation, but emotional intelligence, is it a key element in this whole topic? Is it supposed to be something that should people know that you should be emotionally aware?
I think so. When it comes to emotional intelligence, it's a lot around how you react, perceive, take information, process information, then give feedback. And so then where are you at? Are you the girlfriend who you want to cry over everything? You don't want to be called out on your nonsense, but you want someone else to be held accountable. You want to show up with your 6 friends for a date and tell your boyfriend suddenly has to pay the bills because he asked you to come out and you can't go alone. Emotional intelligence is today was a bad day for my person, so should I be supportive, or am I also going to add to the bad day he had? Emotional intelligence is seeing that this person today is not a good day to fight.
Right.
So can I keep this for a bit and wait till he's fine and then have this conversation? So that now we are not fighting here, all of us. We are fighting here. Because you are upset, he's upset. He's had a bad day. When you start a fight here, that fight will never be resolved. So if you can wait a few hours, things calm down, and then talk about it helps. Emotional intelligence is where you're able to say, this is not worth fighting over with this person. Like, it is an issue. I agree it is an issue to me, but it's a small issue. It is not worth ending the relationship. So it is very, very important for both parties to be aware of level, I call it level of emotional maturity, because all of us go through that journey. No one is born emotionally mature. You have to go through certain ropes. You have to kiss a few frogs and tell yourself that relationship was bad to me this way. So when I'm going into this one, these are some of the things I don't want to deal with. So it is not something you can separate at all, not even with your parents, not even with your siblings. That's why you have siblings relating in certain ways and only hanging out with certain sister or brother, because at their level they can talk to each other, they can listen to each other, they can agree, and then come back to everyone. So it is core of every relationship. For one, there's so many evaluation tests online that you can just do to tell you where you are at personally with how you handle things, and they'll give you questions and answer and summarize for you what level you are in. It is a personal choice whether you want to explore further, seek therapy for it. Also, intelligence comes from how badly did I react to that issue yesterday? How do I react to it today? How will I react to it next year? If you are consistently being told by someone, you know, I don't like the way you react to things, and you don't sit back and say, by the way, is there a better way? Then you're not getting that. You're not getting to that level of emotional intelligence. So with that, you have to check yourself, how you react, and it has to come from feedback, because you can be very emotionally mature to self, but other people sit and wonder, na wewe na vile wewe ni mkubwa, lakini watu kuongelesha unaongea kama mtoto, because they never get how you hear, and your head is, and reasoning is somewhere else. So you have to sit with yourself and say, John said yesterday that niko na ufala sana in the way I respond to certain things. Where is he coming from? Then you reevaluate and go back and give feedback that, by the way, I thought about what you said. That was not the way I should have responded to that. And then now it helps also build relationships.
John, most men would tackle this issue of emotional intelligence, of being weak. Can you digress?
Wow. A very good question. But allow me to tie it with what Jen said earlier on, that we are a product of nature and nurture. And largely, nurture plays a very significant role to the people we become, or the people we desire to become. It is a very familiar script for us. You know, I come from a home where my dad was never pinned in any conversation. He was the Msoa home. You know, whatever dad says is the law. So what do you expect of me as a man? You know, it's whatever I say goes. I'm not open to accommodate my partner's view. Whether that is a sign of weakness, I will say it is largely informed by where we are all coming from. If over the years, that is what you learned, that is what was your blueprint, allow me to still refer back to that, then again, you do not expect this man to know any better. you know, at least for that moment. The flip side of it is their willingness to unlearn this, you know, to open up to learn to something new and different that will accommodate their partner, depending on how they view relationships. Because if you want to have a relationship that is relative to both of you, that is balanced, you know, your needs as a man are met, the needs of your partner are met, because you do not wish to have a subject as a partner, then how are you willing to do the work? You know, your level of awareness will come to play to help you realize that I need to accommodate my partner, and let me hold their hand to this. Allow them to bring a better idea, so long as it works for our relationship. So the notion of weakness in men, especially when it is ceding some ground for their partners, it's a conversation we need to really debunk. And that's why our previous conversation on where you're coming from was key, because that is what informs who you become and how you interact with different people, even those that you wish to have very intimate relationships with. And that could also result to you repelling these people. You really desire to have them in your life, but unconsciously you repel them just by your actions, by your utterances. So it's a personal decision, it's a personal choice, and the willingness to introspect and open yourself to new information and unlearn.
Yes, Briviah.
Briviah anasema
Unasema nini? Tuambie, unasema.
Anasikia kanapita. Yes.
I have like a conflict with my partner. So the conflict is here. I've tried to talk to him. He's not listening. In my home, I was empowered. As a lady, I was given a chance to speak out what I had to say. My view about certain issues were being listened to. Now I'm here with him. He's been brought up differently. Comes from a different background. So how do we solve this? Am I listening to him as my spouse? Am I listening to him as my opponent? Am I listening to him as a mediator? Who am I listening to him as? Like, how are we solving this conflict?
Mimi ningependa kusaidia hapo.
I was raised differently. You mumesema where he comes from.
Yes. And where you come from?
I'm also coming from elsewhere.
Yes.
So how do we go about this?
Mesh wants to.
Mimi ningependa kusaidia. You know, from even the historical Bible,
Yes.
that was written by people inspired by God. God created man first, and he said, from our own image we created man. And when he punished us, he said that man, you should take over the earth, and that's why he gave man the authority to do what? To rule over earth. You get the point? It is not that in the relationship man should rule you. I don't want to say that wanaume wakuja wakalia wanawake hapa anga akisema gravel hivi ya chap but kuna kitu Christine amesema, understanding. You get the point? Ni ku understand. For example, mimi, because relationship is all about learning this person. This someone new. You get the point? Okay. From, let's say, the first mistake I did, maybe tissue uliweka juu ya
basket.
Yeah, kwa basket. Ukapata mimi nilienda nikachukua tissue nikaeka juu ya hiyo sink ya choo. Unanipata? Utakuja uniambie ni aje? Hii tissue yekwage hapa, inaekwaga pale. Mimi nikasirika nikwambia usinipange. Unanipata? Spanguingi, unaona? It is you now to start sitting down and ulize, mbona mse anafanya hivi? Unanipata? Because we are all informed from where we were brought up. I can tell you, I've studied in boarding school. Hata umesoma boarding school.
So are you listening?
Na mimi mwenyewe kuna ile vile kuwa mwanaume. Mwanaume ambi, unaona? And that is what the society has made us to be. You get the point? But at some point we have people like kina Mam Christine hapa, Jane, kina John, wanasema aje, it is okay to not be okay. Be okay. It is okay to seek for help. Unanipata? So we are just trying to come into that shoe. So for me, I will ask you to understand. Then if you can't talk to the person directly. Kuna kuandika, kuna kuindoaje kutuma message ama kumrushia inaitwanga aje zile teachings.
Signals.
Yeah, signal teachings. For example, you find online quiz. Unamwambia aje, by the way, babe, nifanye aje? Ni angalia, look over this. Unaona vitu mbili itakusaidia sana. Unaona? So kwa hiyo aspect mimi ningesema for me is how you'll choose to communicate to that person. It is not when but how. You get the point? Umeona ya kwanza hawezi sikia. But unaweza tumia other channels. Maybe anapenda kuwatch ball. Then unamjokia tu. By the way, unaona Ronaldo anafanya hivi na hivi na hivi. Then you unaingiza hapo, lakini tissue yekwagu hivi na kwanga. Unanipata? How you choose to communicate, it will really help you a lot. Unaona? So for me, that is how I can help you in that scenario. Yes, Christine, you have another answer that can suit our lady here. Kwa sababu kidogo, najua yeye ndiye anaingia katika ulimwende wa...
No, there's. I want to respond. I want to add on to what John said first. When we talk about men who see handling emotions as weakness, are men who are raised constantly told when ni mwanaume.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, their babies, they hit themselves instead of checking and doing first aid and making sure they're okay. You go, usilia we ni mwanaume.
Unakuwa mkubwa.
Hiyo kitu kidogo, you know. So they are taught to bottle up even things they should have processed. So as an adult, what do you want them to do? That's why we have men that even when you tell them their wife is in labor,
It's normal.
it's not a big deal because their sense of this is bad, this is a bad situation was bottled up in just keep things to yourself. So emergency, see emergency kwake, because there was never that line. Secondly, around communication, and that's why we said dating. Dating is not for coffee and smiling at each other and checking your phone. Dating is for asking questions. Dating is for solving conflicts and seeing if you guys can actually solve a conflict. I keep saying if you dated someone and married him before fighting, the day you fight in that marriage, it ends. Because none of you never resolved a conflict. You never fought over money. You never fought over saying you're going somewhere and you're told, oh, you're not going, and you're like, I've been alone. Yeah, who are you to tell me I can't go anymore? The things we call red flags that we see. So if already you are dating and in the middle of conversations, he did or said something and you couldn't get the answer you needed while dating, why are you going to get it as a husband? Because that person is not being like that the first time in the house. There have to have been conversations before that either they were defensive, outrightly rude, or just didn't want to address. And because you are the girlfriend and you're trying to be nice and avoiding fights, and you never handled the issue. You never said, I asked you something. I'd like us to address this. How do we proceed from here while you're dating? So that both of you are at a place where if things are wrong, you can talk about them. Then you're going to fail in that marriage because things are going to go wrong because now you're seeing each other every day. The socks will be left at the door. Your comb and your brush will be moved from where you left it. And you're going to have to talk about it. So the rules and the things that we don't follow as women is the thought that we can fix it later on. And we don't go by the rules of, can I take this? Is this something I want to live with? Is this reason enough for me to leave this relationship? But we get into relationships in the hopes of he will change, I can change him. Men are like children. Treat them a certain way, the same way he's saying over here. That you have to protect their feelings, sugarcoat, whatever. Because that's what you are saying. That is the impression you've created. Sugarcoat his feelings, time football when he's
internet, social media.
Makosa imefanyika.
Because why am I writing for you and not to address something you said that upset me?
Yet we can
Yet we're in the same space. If you're in another country and we have to address it on WhatsApp or over phone call, I agree. But if we are living together, then we should be able to talk about it. We can talk about it over coffee away from home if talking at home is hard. We can talk about it over drinks, if whatever works for us and how we resolve our issues. There has to be, you have to create a systematic way that works for you as a couple on how to resolve them. What we are saying is do not hit below the belt. Because when you come for someone below the belt, they are allowed to react whichever way. So we have to be respectful, we have to be considerate, we have to worry, as I said, the mood of the person. There are other contributing factors that do not include you don't want to talk to me. Because why are we living here? As we were talking in the other one and we said women decide to go quiet and decide that my boyfriend is Jesus, he'll figure out that I'm upset at him and he'll decide to fix this. He will not. He, in fact, he's wondering the whole time, nini nasumbua huyu? And then he'll keep going to hang out with the boys. So now you start feeling being left alone. But at home, you're not talking to him. He doesn't know why you're not talking. So create while you're dating, while you're getting to know each other. Because also this thing of we are dating after second sex is not dating. We just had sex twice.
Hey.
Why are we dating?
Enough.
Yeah, we have to know each other.
Yeah.
No. It's, yeah.
Christina anajaribu ku. Una attack sana. Where arrow under the bow.
No, we can't sleep 3 times. The only thing tumefanya ni kulaliana, tukaenda. Tukarudi tukalaliana, tukaenda. Tukarudi tukalaliana. We never even built room for conversation.
Hey.
When did you ever sit and talk about him, his family? How do they resolve issues? Do they get along as siblings? When they fight, what happens? So we have to get to know each other. Then we have to sit and say we are dating. We are dating. I know we have a problem there. We are not doing that today.
Hey.
But we have to agree that we are dating. The sense of sitting down and committing to dating brings the sense of responsibility to each other. Which means mshaka marafiki, mchajuana, mkachambua kidogo, ukaamua this is someone I want to get serious with. Then you've decided if you're serious with that person, then he's the only man at that time that you're dating. This one of let's have 6 options, see which one fails, which one doesn't. You see how she's becoming uncomfortable? Yes. Yes.
But also just to build on that,
yes.
We've had instances, and I'll refer to a post I was following yesterday,
Yes.
this morning or yesterday, where who was that? There's one politician was having just a conversation and defending himself in that conversation with a lady. And then in one of the comments they say, mbona mwanaume anaongea sana? Right? Si hata defense. Tuko kwa society yenye, like Christine was saying, mwanaume haruhusiwi kujiexpress.
Na kuongea. True.
Kuongea, kujieleza anavyohisi. So it's like, we kanyage, we nyamaza we ni mwanaume, toughen up, you know? And we get to dates, for instance. And one of the prerequisites in some of the ladies is
you should listen to me.
Staki chali anaongea kwa date.
You listen to me.
Mimi nataka chali anakuja, mtu wako chilled.
Ananisikiza.
Ananisikiza. Yeye bora atalipa bills. Unaona. But what is a problem? I find that really concerning, because as you keep talking, which is natural of most women, they will talk. Okay.
You were talking about how men.
Yes. So we get to a date, and of course a lady expects me to be quiet. And a perfect example, ingia ma3, anza kujibizana na dem. The first 3 statements itakuwa unaongea aje kama mwanamke.
Unasema?
Okay. What does that mean? Men, we are not allowed to open up, to express our emotions. Then to make a date, wacha turudi date. Mtu alisema one date inaweza fanya mwanaume ajue kama we ni potential ama we si potential.
True.
Because the fact that atanyamaza all that while, hata kama ni maswali atauliza, atakuwa anatupa moja na hujamruhusu kujieleza, then anaanza kufigure out uniaje huyu ni long term ama tuanze kurenegotiate short term, you know. But imagine as a lady, you're seated here with your guy and throwing in a question here and there, you know. How is your relationship with your siblings? How was your relationship with your mother? You know, how was your growing up? Because as she said and she asked, the influence our families of origin have in us, it's quite huge. That when you're coming from a secure place where you are allowed to express yourself, you are sure that your parents would console you when you're emotionally down, you need that support system for you. You know, that is what you know. That is what you expect from your partner. Your guy, on the other hand, is coming from a very critical, inconsistent space. What do they know? That inconsistency, the insecurity that is there. So even as you bring a conversation and want to strike it, your intentions are very right, that I want to resolve this. But where is he coming from? Does he even understand the meaning of resolving a conflict? Does he know what that means? So what happens? Dating comes in, you know. How open are you to have these conversations? What areas can you explore? Now that you know something, can you present it to them and see how receptive they are? And having your what are they called, Christian? Non-negotiables. You know, that I'm open to have this conversation to this extent. If he doesn't show the willingness, then what does that mean to me? Am I willing to let go? We do not go into relationships with the notion of it's a do or die.
That this must work.
This must work. What is the need there? You know, it is, we are gonna put in the work. Both of us are going to pump in our energies in this. If it doesn't work, I own up. I tried or I missed. What are my hits? What are my misses? And then what does that inform us? Jen?
Yeah, thank you, John. And to add on to what John is saying, I think we get into these situationships because we rush into relationships. Unajua, you meet this tall, dark, very handsome young man, akona gari hapo Range Rover, and so because you don't want to miss out on all those material things, then you overlook the things that are important, like the character of the man, you know. And how do you get to know the character of the man? Just as John is saying, ask questions. How often do we ask these men questions? As long as he's coming with the flowers and the chocolate and treating you like a baby girl, then even when you see red flags, unazichezea chini ya maji, because again, you don't want to ask questions that are going to push this man away. So I feel like that's a mistake that we don't make. We don't ask enough questions. And also aside from that, we don't have boundaries. So for example, if I'm in a relationship and a man is doing something that I'm not happy with, I'm not setting boundaries. And we need to be able to set boundaries from the very beginning and say, by the way, Hapa, this I cannot take. These are, you see, like the way you get into a relationship, and some people will say, where I draw the line is if you ever cheat on me. For other people is if you ever hit me. For other, I mean, we all have our own different, what can I call them? Deal breakers, thank you. You know, deal breakers. So what are your deal breakers? You know, did you ever communicate that? Did they ever communicate back? Because again, it's not just about you as a person. Remember, as a woman rather, you're getting into this relationship, you're becoming one. Yeah? So it's not just about me. It's finding common ground and saying, this works, this does not work, this we can compromise, this we cannot compromise. You know, you come together and agree to either start a relationship or decide to, you know, call it quits.
But I'd just like to, I don't know if it's a question or feedback on what Jen is saying.
Yes.
On the part of, you've met tall, dark and handsome, his car and all. Where are you going to draw the boundaries? If he's the sole provider, if his money runs your life, if he left you by the roadside, you are lost. So another thing I also think about is date your level. And if you're dating above or below your level, it is something mutual. not someone having power and control over you. There's a story we are told of someone who the husband had a heart attack, but Range Rover iko kwa parking lot, and she can't drive. She never went to driving school. So her husband died. Because by the time she figured out, first of all, she didn't even know what's going on. Because vile alichukuliwa village, akaletwa Nairobi, akakuwa bibi, na graduate housewife. She never tried to challenge the status quo. Never went to college, never went to driving school, just never tried to broaden her world to fit into this man's world. Because sometimes you can be lower, maybe lower in terms of it. I'm not saying lower that someone is looking down on you, but if Christine Aspa is a director and I'm dating you and you're not in that space with me, then the society itself will destroy you, because they will keep coming at you, after her money, after all this, after all that, and every time we argue you go, unanidharau juu ni mkubwa kunishinda, because now age was a problem. I was already older than you. Or a woman cannot talk to you like that just because she's the one who has more money. All the time, happens all the time. So the issue is also, are you trying to get to that level that when you speak, those barriers and those misconceptions, because they are there, but they always sit there. We never think about it until your man talks to you, and then you go, he only talks to me like that because he's the one who has money. I don't have anything. So even in that level of dating, those are some of the things you have to consider. By the time I'm in college and I'm dating this guy with the Range Rover and all these things, what control does that imply? How does he treat me? How does he listen to me? Is it those ones who say nikitoka kwa nyumba usitoke? So you can't even see your family or friends because you've decided this is the relationship you're going to be in? Or then you're saying, I've actually had this discussion with this man, I'm gonna go back to college, even as we work on our family. He's interested in seeing me grow. He understands he found me here and I was here because of ABC, and now we are working towards. If you feel like your partner is emotionally aware, self-aware, then what are the other options for you? Go for therapy. Talk through your problems, talk through your concerns, then come back and go. Because I do not understand, and I even said it in the other show, I do not understand how people go for marriage counseling, but they never went for dating counseling. Because there are issues that come up in therapy. You even look at that person and you're like, mbona sikujua hiyo? Yeah, but now marriage counseling is very focused on a few things. Your finances, what happens if you have kids, nini, done. But no one really journeyed with you in how you handle work-life balance in this relationship. No one journeyed with you on those days that you really fought, that you even took a break, because there are sometimes we fight and take a break. And then we miss each other, we can't call each other, then we're like, turudiane tu. Munarudiana, those issues were never addressed. So that level of dating, also let's be open, it's not about what the society is saying, it is about you two. And if for any reason one feels the playing field is not equal, how do we get there? To the point that when we communicate, I do not self-sabotage. Because I start seeing, hey, Jonah ananidharau siku hizi, alinipata kama niko na certificate, nimezaa watoto watatu, yeye amefanya masters, mi bado niko, all I have is the 3 kids and my certificate. Did we talk about, can I go to school while we are doing this? There's online learning. So by the time I'm raising these children, he's supporting me with the house, but I'm going to school to get my degree so that I keep growing. So those are also things we have to put.
And also to add, on easy issues tunasema hapa, kuna the ball of contention about boundaries and issues. Christine is talking about boundaries in terms of how do you meet as partners. Ndio. But kuna wale watakwambia boundaries in terms of the do's and don'ts. You get the point? Everybody has, I don't like people who are like this. Compromising, is it something people are aware of? Because when we enter relationships, what is perceived is, my thinking is right, she should apply it. Her thinking is right, I should apply it. You get the point? Do we ever reach at this point where people need to break their boundaries, or is there, let's say, something that people can use to accommodate these boundaries in relationships? Because sometimes when I'm mad, I'll keep quiet. I'll not talk. You get the point? How will you help this person? And it is generally, the way John said, men are not supposed to talk. If now me and Christine are into a fight, I will let Christine win. Not because she's right, but because
You don't want drama.
Yes, I don't want drama. You get the point? I fear when I talk to Briviah here that I step on her toes, she will get mad. Then we'll not have a conversation. So how can you help that person in this society? That all of us are informed, yes, but how can you help this person? Yes, Jane.
Yeah, well, that's a very interesting question, and I'll take it back to what Christine mentioned earlier about emotional intelligence. We are in a relationship, right?
Yes.
And we have different personalities. Say, for example, you are melancholic, I am a choleric.
Yeah.
And obviously, being a choleric as a wife, that means I'm a bit loud. I dominate the room, you know, and that can be very overwhelming for you. So it goes back to intentionality. Both of us, you know, the reason why people say that relationships are hard is because relationships take a lot of work, and it takes two to tango. There's no way I'm going to be intentional about working on myself and you're not.
Thank you.
So we need to be able to be very, very intentional that, you know what, we're in a relationship, we're in a marriage, and we need to work on ourselves. Right? Now comes in emotional intelligence. It's about working on my own emotions and also being able to manage the emotions of the other person. Yeah? And if I'm the only person who has emotional intelligence and you don't, then it will never work. Yeah? So we need to start by, we're in a relationship, we need to put in the work. Both of us. Sio mtu moja. Yeah? Let us be intentional. Let us be aware. As we are talking about our backgrounds, remember, we also have our traumas. Right? Aside from just nature and nurture, we have trauma, right? So I'm carrying a lot of baggage, and so are you. Yeah. So it's important to understand yourself. Am I aware of my baggage? Because none of us is perfect. So being aware and also being very emotionally intelligent, and that takes time and it takes practice. As Christine earlier said, that nobody was born emotionally intelligent. Yeah, emotional maturity is something that you practice. You work on yourself. You work on trying to understand the other person.
True.
And I think when you get to that level, then relationships become easy, they become interesting, they become fun, and happy for the both of you. Yeah. So for me, I feel like it has to be the two of you putting in the work. Yeah, they say that it takes two to tango. Right.
Yes, Briviah?
I have a question for our elderly people here.
Hata ungesema millennial. Elderly.
Kama wewe si Gen Z tafadhali.
Sema tu millennial, please.
Sisi ni Stone Age.
We refuse.
If you're not Gen
We
Z,
refuse. Sema tu our millennial,
Our
please.
experts, our brothers and sisters. in the older generation.
Tumekubali millennial.
So, uncles and aunties.
uncle and auntie.
Nilishaitwa Mam Christine. Ni vile tu nililenga hiyo part.
Makosa ilifanyika. Makosa imefanyika.
Grandma and grandpas. When do we know it's the right time to have these relationships? When is the right time to just get into one serious one? Do I have to really ask the question, are you my boyfriend?
Hey.
Ama, I just sit. If I get the baby girl treatment, if I get the period package, if I get girlfriend allowance, if I get
standards, my
Ukweli,
dear.
ndio sababu tumeitwa old age.
Ni ukweli.
We actually see the point now.
Period gifts.
Nimesikia period package. Najinunulianga.
Jane? Bado? Wow. By the mambo ina change. Sai kutakuwa hata na wake up gift.
Imagine.
Push.
I saw that.
It's not easy.
Syllabus nenda bio.
Standards munasetiwa si rahisi.
Pole.
Any answer?
When do I know?
John,
The right time to
utaleta
get in
period
here.
package.
Normal.
Calm down, guys. Calm down.
Period package.
So when do I know it's the right time? When do I sit down and say, his financial intelligence and my financial intelligence, we can sit and agree and raise a family.
I wanted to come back to what Mesh asked about hata imepotea. Ilikuwa juu ya?
Boundaries.
Not boundaries.
Compromise.
Yeah. And compromise in a relationship. And I think a lot often than not, women do compromise, and we are trained from childhood to compromise. That's why boys will sit, but girls have to carry the smaller baby to cook, to bring water. We are taught the act of manual labor and the act of giving. And so even in relationships and marriages, it is very easy for us to then take a back seat and say, wacha ende. It's those things of your man leaves you, goes and marries, moves on, gets sick, comes back to you to take care of him. And then the society tells you, but he's your husband. Sasa unataka aende wapi? Or, oh, you can't leave a man when he's down, but he can leave you when you are down under with the 10 children. But you're told, usiende. Sasa ukimwacha alipoteza job, sijui nini, watu watasema nini.
Hiyo kitu watasema ni mbaya.
Yeah, so so when it comes to compromise, the issue is, what are you compromising on?
Thank you.
How is it affecting you? Are you compromising on your mental health? Are you compromising on your children's safety, your safety? Are you compromising on these things around watch a job so that you can be a housewife? What is the long-term goal? Because I keep saying, if my husband per se was to tell me to quit my job, is he willing to pay me the salary I was earning in my own bank account, that I am the one who has the pin? Because my money still needs to keep coming. Because there's no way I'm going to...
Relax. We shall come to you when the time comes.
There's no way I'm going to ask you.
Husband. Nobody.
I'm not going to ask you for money for pads. You get? Because by the time I'm a housewife, it means either you've given me a card so I can go swipe shop, buy things.
Thank you.
But coming back to you and saying, Baba nani, zile masiku zimefika. Nisaidie 200.
It is.
And you've had these cases of a pregnant woman is left at home with 200 shillings the whole day.
Hey.
She didn't get food. Nanny mob. Or he burnt all my certificates so that I cannot go and look for work. Or he locked my certificates, I can't find them.
Hey.
So when you are choosing to compromise in a relationship, let it be something that is talked about, agreeable for both parties, not a place of power. That if I'm going to then be home, you are making this much money, will you give me the money I was making? Because if I'm already working at a 70k, 100k job, and then because you are earning 500 plus, you say you can sustain both of us, I still need to have my 70k. And that's why nowadays you get all these conversations of women have to have an emergency fund. Like if you left today, tomorrow we can still live. We don't run to the village. Not that we are saying plan for living, but because it has happened so often, it comes to a point where even you, just for risk's sake, have your own money. And men want to behave like they don't lose jobs. And then when they lose jobs, what? Amuna pesa, there was no money in your account. He never saved because half the time akona maboys wanafanya ile kitu. Then you are flat-footed. So in compromising, think through, what are you giving up? And how is your partner adding to that, so that you don't eventually resent him? Because that's how resentment seeps in slowly. When you start asking for things you never used to ask for, when you start seeing your children are not safe because he's beating you, when you can't now see your family and you miss them, because those are the things we compromise on just to be in relationships. When you can't now send your mother money because your money has to go through your wife to them, because now you are married, because we have those cases as well, where once a man gets married, the wife says, if money is leaving this house, it's leaving through me. So you have to give me money to send to my mother and to your mother. So those conversations have to be there. If it's the man sending the money, it's agreed on how much money is going to both parents, if both parents are alive. If it's money to support your family, then we talk about it. Don't allow your partner to go through, anajua end month tuko na pesa fulani, alafu ikifika naambia, oh, but I sent my brother money. Like it's not a big deal because you budget as a family. So look at it. Does it make sense? Does it work for both of you? Does it add value? Does it remove resentment, anger, bitterness, and things that can bring about raising of unhappy children?
Christina amesema mingi hapo. Nimesikia mambo ya pesa kidogo. Finances inasumbuaga kwa relationship. And also just to say something on what Christina said, kuna hii issue ya finances. Mimi believe and I tell people that financial literacy was not brought for stupid people. It was just brought for us to enlighten us more. Because truth be told, all of us are bad managers. All of us are good managers at one point, at one particular point. That's why I advocate for most of the youths, or even our eldest generation, at least go for these seminars. Ziko mtaani, ukisikia enda tu usikize. Listening does not hurt. What hurts is that you mismanage something and then someone very young, someone who's 20 years comes and sits Christine down and tells her, Christine, you know what? You earn 70K, this is how you can budget. Budgeting, my friends. So let us embrace these opportunities. So Briviah, umesikia advice kutoka kwa Christine. Nasikia unamuita Auntie Mado.
Hiyo umekubaliana nayo?
Auntie Mado amesema mambo yake hapo, umeelewa.
So should I
Yes, ask the question ndio John akupe yako. Vile nafaa ikuwe.
So my question is, when do I know that it's the right time to settle in, to start dating first of all? From dating, how long should it take before it's graduating into a relationship?
Hey.
And after this relationship, for how long should it take before it becomes a marriage?
Hey.
And when we are there, when do we start this thing called sex? Should I be following sex before marriage? Or should I just go with, we have to know what we are walking into the
Marriage.
Will I compromise the church to fit into
the society?
Or should I just follow whatever I was taught in church? Briviah, you know what? There is no sex before
Marriage.
It is called
and
fornication.
in any case, I was not told. I just discovered that we are not supposed to engage in sex before marriage. Should we talk about it? Should we just keep quiet? Should we swim in with what we know and just
dive into the deep end?
Makosa imefanyika John.
Oh, wow, that's so many questions in one.
A lot.
Let me pick it up from, I'm imagining when you're starting a new relationship, you're coming from another relationship, you know, because that again reflects on how your next relationship, how long it will go, or how it will sustain itself over the years. And
Can
so
be a relationship with yourself.
it can also be a relationship with yourself, but again, in this context we are imagining umeachana tu na mpoa alafu ukapata a better mpoa,
Kesho yake.
Sindio? So number one,
Wewe ni mbest.
or it is your first time.
Makosa imefanyika kidogo wadau.
Let me confine myself to a newcomer. Because hizo zingine nikaa tutaenda sana. For a newcomer, I think one of the questions I might pose is, what are your goals? What are your life goals? Because pursuing a relationship, it's either you have achieved a certain level of your personal goals in life and you're seeing yourself to a certain point of stability, and that maybe digresses us to kutaka kuvuna mahali hujapanda. You know, because when you're building yourself, you know that I have this much or I have this long to go to get to my level of stability. So your readiness for a relationship is determined by your life goals. Yeah, mi niko shule, niko kampo, nataka nimalize kampo ndo niko ready for a relationship. No. Ama mimi nimemaliza high school na niko ready for a relationship. And maybe that may take us to why do we need a relationship in the first place? People pursue relationships for different reasons.
Yeah.
There are people that would pursue relationship for financial advantages. You know, antaka tolewe kwa situation flani yuko, so nitaenda kwa hii relationship juu mse hata niomoshea do. People pursue relationship for social approvals. You know, I mean a certain fling of people who are all in relationship. I have nothing to talk about relationship. There's no contribution I can make. So let me find myself as some guy somewhere. People pursue relationship because at a home situation si poa sana.
Yeah.
So nataka mse mwenye ataniashua nitakuwa na 3 meals. Naona?
Yeah.
Home tunachapa 2 or 1.5 meal. Na nimepata mse atanichapia 3 meal. Wacha niende hiyo relationship. Mtu anapasu relationship juu home kuna pressure. You are the firstborn. It doesn't matter what age you are, but when you're firstborn.
Yeah.
So wanataka wakutoe kwa list haraka sana, wabaki na wale wadogo. Unaona? And many other reasons. So what is it that is motivating you either unconsciously or even consciously to pursue a relationship? That is one. When do I know I am ready for sex? Maybe these questions might help us explore sex. What does sex mean to you? When does sex begin and when does it stop? Okay. Upon defining what sex is and what it means to you, when it begins and it stops, then you will find whether you're ready for it or you're not. And again, it could be from a point of your partner has had other experiences and they want to try it with you. The way we say wezi buy gari bila kufanya nini?
Test drive,
you know? But what are your values also as a person? To consent to sex. You know, what do you believe in as far as sex conversations are concerned? So I think it's a personal reflection before you put it on the other person to influence the outcome. Then what is it that what conversations have you had with yourself, and have you even in the answers that you found, have you shared with your partner? Because mse akikupush you have nae sex na wewe uko na values zako about sex, umemwambia values zako? You know, so it's both ways, but communication for me, I find it very important. People must be open to communicate, and openness means